A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to my channel once again. Today it is April 19th of 2023, and so I'm back here one final time for Why Is That? So, there hasn't been as many episodes as the likes of the previous two seasons, but as we all know from James D. Rolfe of Angry Video Game Nerd, quality over quantity. That's our lesson here. And the thing is, I decided to end Why Is That right here on April 19th, 2023. One last question, one last time for me to come by and answer them in, hopefully, a decent fashion. And while some people might have definitely changed at a physical and even emotional level after hearing the many things I've had to say to people regarding the many questions I've had to answer and all the different chapters of my life being presented to the world through my own eyes and memory. I'm proud to present to you one last question, which of course happens to be pretty interesting. It simply says, as you'll see down below here in another screenshot I made, why is that you can't agree on anything that is happening today? So, yeah, that's a nice way to cap things off, because at this very point, I'd say I was having a good run here. I was having a good time to be able to avoid certain things in life, like having to talk about political beliefs and studies and religion. I mean, is no one else above that? Is no one else out there any better than me? It seems like I'm one of the only good guys left on this planet. Probably the rest of the whole solar system. Might seem like exaggeration, but at this very point, I'm willing to accept the fact that it could probably be true. If I'm really supposed to be one of the only good people left, as opposed to every other ignorant, arrogant idiot. So, that's just what it is, But you know what? I'm going to do things a little differently here. Just to know this is the last time I'm ever going to do Why Is That for a while. Longer, at least. I might as well just do exactly what I originally intended to do with Why Is That as a whole. Answer questions that people have asked me. And so, if you really want to know why is that I don't agree on anything that's going on right now, well, I guess if there's one detail that should have been put in, why is that I don't agree or disagree with anything that's happening today. And the thing is, my answer to that, to put it simply, is like this. Quote unquote, that's none of your business! Yeah, that's what it is. None of your business. I have explicitly said before that this is not of anyone's concern. Why is that? Because I do not do politics. I do not do religion. I do not do certain things that people have been so sensitive to. I feel like if I just say the word politics right now, somebody's going to be on their knees crying. And at this very point, I'm going to show the whole world how ignoramus it is to even think to talk about that stuff. When it's gone so far downhill now, there's no point trying to bring it back up with the winch. That winch would snap under the heavy weight of all of this drama. Weight on our shoulders, weight on our world, weight on our everything. And I mean, this is really just a huge disappointment the way I see it. Not a great way to end the series, but considering that people are really asking me certain things, they're going to get what they asked for. I'm not just going to leave them in the dust anymore. Nah, it's not at all what's going to happen here. I'm instead going to basically do what I've intended to do this entire time, since I even bothered to start this series. Yeah, almost 5 years ago. That's quite a while to go answering questions from some people out there. They really want to know about me at a personal level, and it has really gone to such an incredible degree. Quite an interesting tangent that we've developed since day one. And with over 145 episodes, oh boy, have we done such a huge process. So I feel like that by now, you're probably wondering, how can I possibly go any further than this? I probably can't. And that's kind of my big problem here. There's some people out there tend to ask me questions that seem meaningless or dumb, but yet I actually do have the nerve to include some of them. There's some things in life that people want to know about me for. They want to remember me for letting them know that I do not in fact plan on involving any sort of political aspect in my life. My career and reputation are on the line. And to put politics in with it would allow everything to go completely bust. If I all of a sudden start uploading agreements to certain things that so many people have extreme disagreements with, oh boy, I am going to get so much trouble for it. It'll not be pretty. I mean, just to know the fact that I've left a lot of social media because of all this, that's really a huge step in a certain direction that I just had to take. Because my name is not going to be involved with anyone, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of religious aspect, regardless of who they are. Entirely. I am not going to attach my name, my career, my reputation, my everything to certain topics that'll definitely guarantee a number of bad blood. It'll be a huge river. Crimson. And just like that, it'll be all over before I even know it. Before I even know what's happening, it's just over and done with. I'd have to leave every social media, delete every account I've made, and have every possible trace of my existence on the web gone in the blink of an eye. For anything to not be done to me. Oh boy. But it's as I've said before. Having a lot of things deleted, social media wise, that especially was very helpful for me. I hopefully don't end up having to go to therapy or something that's super expensive, because I really cannot afford extreme life changes that are going to force me to do something specific like taking medication or whatnot, because it would not be cool. But just know this. With all the things that I do on a regular basis, Hot Wheels, Nerf, PlayStation, clothes, books, movies, TV, there's so many things out there that people like to watch here on YouTube. It doesn't have to become a political discussion. It doesn't have to become an extreme debate on who's right and who's wrong. It doesn't have to be a mass catastrophe of backlash and uproar. It doesn't have to be a collective systemic series of racism and fascism. It doesn't have to be any of that. YouTube is YouTube. You do what you want to do with it. Don't let anyone else judge you for who you are. The color of your skin, the height, the weight, anything else. Do not let anyone try to get to you. Hopefully, that's enough to motivate you. to not make any dumb decisions in life. Because so many YouTubers have gone downhill so far that it's just horrifyingly bad. I mean, I'm not just talking about the ones that we already know well about. Logan Paul, Deji Olatunji, Aiden Ross, Cosmodore, Game Grumps. Oh man. I could talk about that stuff all day. But what's the point? What they've done here isn't really my concern. Not anymore, at least. So, it's better to leave it well enough alone than to try and engrange it to the point where everybody breaks down. So, I obviously can't change what they've done, or change how everybody else feels about them now. I'm just one guy. But as you know, Kaiju Force Neo was indeed founded by multiple people. And even to this day, a lot of people still remember me very well. And I'm absolutely glad to have made some lasting impressions on such social media platforms like Twitter and Vine. Those platforms were definitely some of the best that I've had time spent on, but unfortunately both are gone. Lost causes by any belief. Vine had to be killed by Twitter, and Twitter killed itself after being bought by a freaking politicized billionaire. He might have made the EV what it is today, but he sure as heck can do things so much more differently than you'd ever believe. So, I'm glad I left Twitter. I'm glad I left Tumblr for its own reasons. I'm glad that, you know, Vine hasn't become what Twitter's become, of course. I especially can't remember or even imagine what Vine would have been like if Twitter never did have it removed. Otherwise, you know, I don't need to agree with or disagree with anything. I just need to be me. I obviously can't be a higher being like any members of Congress, or any of UN, or probably even an entire planet worth of functionality. But you know what though? The things you do in life are for you to think of. Not for no one else, just you. And with that in mind, thank you guys so very much for watching this last bit of Why's That. And to tell you the truth, I probably will be taking another long break from this series. Yet, some more questions I'm sure will soon come by. So do be sure to stick around for more of this stuff. And I will see you guys some other time here on Kaiju Force Neo.